The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
What you listening to, man? What they talking about? I got my hand up on that knob, trying to figure out. It doesn't matter who's the guest or what's the subject, cause they keep it 100 and them callers love it. The radio show got you tuned in, ready for action like a bad chick texting what's happening. They ain't here giving 5 o'clock news. Our hosts keep it blunt, sharing their point of views. They going in, man, cause they ain't got no filter. Cause they keep it 100, that's why we messing with you. Got you up to date with the latest with music and what's trending, that's basics. On primetime hours, you can never go wrong. And get night music and what's going on in your neck of the woods, like, hey, Al Roco on today, like, feeling entertained with the radio show. Tuesday, Thursday, taking over, let them know. Let them telephone rings, yeah, I'm on this thing.
Devo, I don't care what you say. Biker Boyz is a trash ass movie. It's nostalgia that's making you feel like it's good. It's not good. It wasn't good in 2003. I said what I said.
Why you bringing group chat info into the show? People don't know nothing about this. Now you trying to make me be a nigga. See, and I was trying to come on here and be diplomatic and shit, but fuck you, you light skinned motherfucker. Because let me tell you about this. Biker Boyz is a good movie. I never said it was a great movie. Jimmy never said it was a great movie. See this nigga doing. See, this the type of nigga he do. Take this behind the scenes shit and he want to put it on the front screen. How about this? Biker Boyz is a good black movie, nigga. You just don't like black movies, and I think it's because you like them.
That's bullshit. I got plenty of black movies that I like. Well, let's add Devo. You've seen Biker Boyz, haven't you?
I have.
Would you categorize Biker Boyz as a good movie?
I've seen it.
You know.
I saw it. I mean, I was.
Devo, come on, just.
It's got a 54% on Rotten Tomatoes.
No, it don't. It's 22. It's 22%.
No, that was the critics. You can't even talk about the critics. Critics are ass. You got to talk about the niggas who don't like the tickets.
It's the movie that you watch once just to say you did. And
it's a good movie. I'm not saying you got to watch it 17 times, but it's not a bad movie. It ain't terrible.
I think it had the message meant well. I will say that because wasn't like a father-son thing, and the son
it was a father-son thing, and the niggas didn't even know about it. First off, he lost his real father. I'm spoiling Biker Boyz. It's 20 years old. Who cares? He lost his father.
Correct.
The man who raised him, who loved him, he lost him in a tragic accident. So as a young black man, he mentally going through it. Then you come find out halfway through the movie, plot twist, his daddy is not his daddy. It's this nigga that he hate who was his daddy. What? So now both of them got to come to grips with
they're in a bad movie together.
And just coming and just realizing that they need they family. That shit was a good movie. Lawrence Fishburne was doing his thing in that bitch. Vanessa Bell Calloway looking good as always.
You know, now that you talk about it, okay, certain parts of it I like when it comes to that. I think if it depending on what you're looking at it for, like for black men, I definitely think it was important just because, you know, there's not enough emphasis on how important the fathers are in their lives. And no matter how old they get, they still need that. And so that's the problem in the community now, is that the community has developed with the idea that fathers are optional. And they're not. So, you know what, Devo? You know, maybe we need to rerun that.
I think you need to take another look at it and just really absorb the plot. Because, even at the end of the movie, Lawrence Fishburne had a choice to win the match or to let his son get his shine on. That nigga eased up off the fucking brakes so that the man that his son could be, he saw the potential and he let him win. It's just a good story. Then he rolled off into the sunset.
I will correct you there. See, I don't need to watch it again, but I do think that we should explore that with other young black men, and they should watch the movie.
It's a good movie. I'm not advocating that it's a great movie. I'm not advocating that it's in the top 50 of black movies. But it's a good
but I
movie.
get it.
Sometimes a good movie could just be all right. It's a good movie.
I will agree with you. I don't think it's horrible. I think the message was good, and I think it's needed. So for that reason, I don't hate the movie.
Good movie. It's not great, but it's a good movie.
I never
Antoine
saw
Fisher doing
Boys
his
in
thing.
the Hood, so I guess there's that.
Diva. What did you just say? What did you just say?
Listen, Devo, we're not going to. I'm not repeating it. You heard me. I never watched it.
Next segment. Come on, because I will not be on camera beefing with Diva. That's not gonna happen. But I'm just not going. I'm gonna just pretend I ain't here. I ain't here.
I just want to point out. I just want to point out that this is not the first time that something like this has happened before, and it probably won't be the last.
Cut me deep on that one, bro. That's crazy. But then again, she also said she don't like fried chicken. So I don't know what me and Diva think. You know what I'm saying? Either we rocking all the way or we opposite. I don't get it.
I think you'll find my opposition intriguing, unfortunately.
It's definitely worth discussion. I tell you that.
What she's trying to tell you is that she's gonna tap dance on your nerves and force you in a way to like her at the fact that she's tap dancing on your nerves.
That's wild, bro.
It's been 15 years of me dealing with this shit. Okay,
that's a wild statement. I mean, if you want to talk about since we're gonna put it out there, Color Purple not good. I said it. Color Purple's not good. It's not a good movie.
I mean, I could see from a man's point of view how they would not be interested in Color Purple.
Wait,
I don't.
Wait, Diva, Color Purple? That's one of like the all-time classic movies.
Yeah, for you niggas, I'm not.
What about
That's a nigger movie. That's nigger time. I don't need it.
I watched it once. I don't need to see it again. Do I think it's a horrible movie? No, but it's not. It's very impressive. I don't want to watch it again. But
it's nigger time. And I don't need that. I don't need that in my life. I don't need that.
I never saw Roots.
See these shit. I don't need all that shit.
Oh my god. I haven't seen majority of the black classics. I haven't seen Roots either. I mean, some stuff I just don't want to watch. Like I get it, but
different. Because that's like a week-long movie. And I don't know anybody that has sat through Roots just like I think it's like 6 hours, 8 hours straight. That's crazy.
I mean, they would show it in school every now and again, where I'm like,
now I went to a Caucasian school. They ain't never show that. Child.
Right? They would show it on TV. Like I don't know about everybody else, but I know in Atlanta when I was younger, Roots would be like during Black History Month, that third week of Black History Month.
Yes.
They would show it all on TV. And like my mom and daddy was the raggedy ass mom and daddy. Y'all go sit down and watch this. I'm watching this shit. Fuck is you talking about? Like
my parents never made me watch it.
Whipped. Fuck is we doing?
I don't know if my parents ever really watch it. Most people watch it and they be like mad for months afterwards. So I was just like, I don't have to do that.
Yeah, there's several movies I won't watch. I haven't ever seen Passions of the Christ. I don't need to see that.
I mean, you know how it ends.
Yeah,
that part. I mean, I think I saw parts of it, but it was so long. Like, I did watch it once, and that was enough. Mm-hmm. Ooh, like what's that Will Smith movie where he was like by himself and it was the end of the world?
I Am Legend?
Yes, I watched that once, never again. This could be the I Watch Once segment.
You are now listening to The Radio Show.
I guess I'll go next while we wait on him. This is like low-key motivational. So y'all just stay with me, okay?
Okay.
Y'all ever had somebody that like wanted you to fail? Like just didn't want to see you be successful? And then you kept grinding and doing what you had to do. And then you made it where you wanted to go. And you kind of just got to turn around and kind of show off like, hey, I did this. You doubted me. You know what I'm saying? Well, that happened to me. I had a struggling fantasy football team. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God, I thought this was real life. This is real life. I'm sorry. I apologize. But continue.
You're listening to the radio show ATL on YouTube and all other podcast providers.
All right, so we have been having various chats going on. We got first of all, I want to say we got way too many group chats going on. We got like an IG chat. We got like this chat for this and that. We just all over the place. Yeah. So I'm hearing a lot of stuff from a lot of my friends that's out here in this dating pool that they're not having a good time, man. And everyone that I talk to is just outdone with what's out there. And I don't understand it. I've been out the game for a long time, so I don't know what's going on with that. But I just hear some of the same complaints from people. I mean, what? I can't talk to you about it, Debo, because you ain't out here. You spoken for, sort of.
Am I? Oh, ladies, don't listen to 16. You can go ahead and direct any messages to your boy. You feel me?
Yeah, single till married. I guess
I can talk to some friends. I can have some friends. You feel me though?
Listen. I mean, at your own risk, ladies. Unless you like getting your car keyed. I'm just saying. I don't know.
Don't worry about it. You ain't got to worry about all that. We gonna Uber. You feel me? We gonna Uber. No, but seriously, I'm definitely so far out of the game. I couldn't even imagine like trying to go to like I don't even know where people go to meet women anymore. It's crazy. To the supermarket, laundromat. I don't know. Nail salon. I don't know
because I've been hearing this complaint from. And this comes from girls and guys when we're having a conversation, is that there's some people who you can chat with them, you can have a text conversation, but when it comes to having face-to-face interaction and conversation, they just lost. They got nothing to bring to the table and nothing to talk about. And I'm like, how's that possible? Is it possible that you can fully immerse your personality into a text message conversation, but you can't talk to them when they're in front of you? Diva, has that happened to you before where you were, engaged in a good conversation with somebody via social media, text messaging, y'all meet each other in person, and it's like talking to a wall?
Yes, absolutely. I despise online dating for that one reason. I've had the best conversations with gentlemen, and then like once we actually meet in person, it's so awkward. It's like we have 3-hour conversations and then get in person, and then like it is rough. So rough. It's like, okay, bye. Like it's just really weird. I think that in this age, right? I have better connections when I meet men in person than online. So I just stopped online dating altogether because I'm really just more of an organic, natural person. I just feel like the chemistry, like how you feel when you see someone, you make eye contact, and then like, it's just a whole different vibe. I feel like when people date online, sometimes if they're not super serious, they're extremely how do you say easy to distract. So you're talking to them in this one moment, it's like really easy not to commit to really trying to get to know the person. Like they're on to the next person, the new people on the app, and then they come back 2 weeks later, you don't remember who they are, but they're just trying to pick up. I think they feel like people online are dispensable. So the effort to me is just lackluster, honestly. And then they lie a lot online, and so it's hard to lie like that in person. That's the easiest way I can put it to you. And that's why it doesn't really go anywhere in person sometimes, because it's kind of like, how do you say, liquid courage? I would call it keyboard courage. Simple as that. So
I can understand that.
Do you feel like some people have unrealistic expectations of what they're looking for
yes.
in a relationship?
Yes, I do. I think people have, this is what my experience is. I feel like men don't really understand women, and women really don't understand men. I feel like families and parents never talk to their kids about relationships or how to be in relationships past like the super basics of like the birds and the bees and whatever. They have no skill sets. So then like you're out here just trying to figure it out. And so me being a person who's super aware and like I know the difference between a lot of things I find that women have very unrealistic expectations for men, and men have very unrealistic expectations for women. So what people do is, as soon as you don't check one or two things, they bounce on to the next person.
Yeah, I have noticed that we don't have any relationships like our grandparents had, where they be married for 30, 45 years because somebody do one thing and they just ready to just end the whole, like we just end the whole relationship. We don't talk about it, you know.
Right.
We just
I think
call it a
people
day.
just don't. I think people now, and when I say people, I mean young folks, they're not willing to compromise. I think that women and men have these preconceived like list in their head of my mate has to have all of these things and checking off everything off the list. Where if they don't make this amount of money, if they don't look like this, if they don't work out like this, if they don't have this type of job, if they don't want to do this, and this, then this is not going to work out. And I don't think that people, our grandparents, for that matter, um, I don't think that that was what ruled them. I think they fell in love and they stayed in love. Now, keep in mind, and I know this people don't want to hear this. Our grandparents were some cheating ass bastards. Okay,
Yes.
let's just be
Yes.
honest about it. Our
Yes.
granddaddies
Yes.
had multiple families. Our grandmamas was fucking the neighbor. Your cousins. You grew up with your neighbor and he was your best friend. And guess what? Y'all end up being brother and sister. That shit was a rampant back then. So let's not act like it was all peaches
Facts.
and teen, peaches and
Thank
herb, as they
you.
say.
Thank you.
But I do think that older generations were more willing to stick it out even through the tough times and just say, okay, well, we're just gonna make it through. Whereas now people are like, well, I'm not putting up with that bullshit that my grandma put up with. My granddaddy come home at 4 a.m. with women lipstick all on his fucking neck and collar. That's fucking crazy. I'm not doing that shit. And so that's why they willing to bounce.
I mean, but the times, okay, so let's just call it spade a spade. A lot of times, your granddaddy got shot, stabbed, and other things that nobody ever spoke about, but they all know it because he was tipping in that house. You feel me? So it's
True.
not like grandma stayed, but she got to get back. See, you got to, I would call it like when guys want these traditional relationships and they think their grandmamas just took a lot of crap. You got to be in the kitchen with the women folk when the women folk talk about what really happened. See, the men aren't privy to that. But I
Mm.
do want to go back to what you were talking about. Not only do I think people don't compromise, honestly, one, people don't know how to communicate. So they don't know how to even communicate their feelings or expectations. And two, a lot of people are not compatible. They just like each other. But when you start really getting into the nitty gritty, most people don't really have the conversations they need to have when they're dating. Most people, relationships go like this: they meet each other, they like each other, they start having sex, they start eating and watching TV. That's the number three things that people do. So at this point, they're 3, 4 years in, maybe they get married, and now here comes life. Now you realize this person doesn't want kids. Now you realize this person has childhood trauma. Now you realize this person has commitment phobia. They don't really ever want to get married. You realize this person really don't even effing like you. Now you realize this person has a baby somewhere else they didn't tell you about, because like nobody focuses on like these things before, because everybody's chasing comfort, a title, a marriage, or whatever. And so they just want to be with somebody, and it's not until afterwards that they even start exploring all the stuff they should have been were dating. That's how, and that's why a lot of people keep rotating so quick, and then they feel like people are dispensable and they can do better. They can do better. So
I got
they
a
don't
question
even really
for
give these relationships a chance.
you had said something that was like a key word in there that we might have discussed this before.
Mhm.
I think around the time that Cam Newton was talking, whatever that was, he was talking. But when you say they want a traditional relationship, like what exactly does that mean? Because I'm gonna tell you personally, I don't like the fact that we assign life skills to certain genders. Like everybody should be able to know how to cook, everybody should be able to know how to clean and all this other stuff, and we just assign these to women. Like, all right, get your ass in there and cook my dinner and all that stuff, when we should be capable of that too. So when you say traditional relationship, like what does that speak to?
Well, A lot of times I find that men who use that rhetoric, because it's only some men who use that rhetoric about having a traditional wife, I mean, for some of these men who speak this way, they're looking for a woman who's willing to stay at home, allow them to work, and she's willing to live on whatever level of income that man is providing without really any pushback. And she wants to give him the freedom to move about. So they just really want the appearance of a woman who stays at home, raises the kids, is loyal, and some fictitious stuff. But these men are actually never really traditional in the sense. You know, somebody like Cam Newton wants, or we'll talk about a traditional wife. Nothing about him is traditional. These men out here throwing babies left and right, not offering marriage, not offering to even financially support a whole household. Nothing about what they're doing is traditional, but they want a woman to be quote unquote submissive and traditional and to follow their latitude, but their leadership sucks. That's why women don't want to follow it, because it's not good. The whole submission thing and leadership and following a man, like, if you're a good leader as a woman, like, we don't even think about it. We'll just follow because we trust. But they want to demand that without realizing that it's because you're not good at it, but that's her fault. She should leave, but she usually stay. You know what I'm saying? So
So
the reason, if
this
you're
is my problem.
struggling,
My
yeah,
problem is, and I guess this is only for me. I can't speak for every black man, right?
yeah,
Why do I want to lead you? I'm not looking to be your boss, and I'm not looking to be your leader. I'm looking for a partner. I'm looking for somebody that's gonna walk beside me, and we're gonna walk through shit together. I don't want to lead
of
you through
course,
shit. But like, I think that's where people get shit wrong. Whereas, well, I'm the leader and she got to submit to me. No, nigga, she ain't got to submit to shit. She can choose to submit to you on some things, and you could choose to submit to her on some things. Like, I think it's
exactly.
this is my
Yep.
thing. People, it should be equal. It should be a equal thing. I saw a TikTok not too long
Facts.
ago where this
Mm-hmm.
lady was explaining how the dynamic of her relationship, where someday her and her husband, they come together at the end of the day and they tell each other, whatever however
Yeah, I
their day
like
was,
that.
of
Mm-hmm.
how much effort they can put into it. So some days he at 50, or some days she's at 25, and some days she can pick
Mm-hmm.
up the slack, some days he can't. And if they can't pick up the slack, they have a discussion. If like he's at 25 and she's at 15, they have a discussion on how to get the rest of the 50% to make sure that
Yes.
they're kind and gentle to each other. That's how it should be.
Yeah,
It
that's
should
real.
be
That's
we're
facts.
both in this together. And I
Of
think that,
course.
especially when you talk about younger folks, they are
Mm-hmm.
so hung up on titles that people running
Yes.
and jumping in. Now I'm a wife. Okay, well, what does that mean? I
Yes.
don't want to put my friend. I got a friend that I used to work with that I was having this conversation with maybe a week and a half ago, and she got married during the pandemic to this guy that she had only met for like 6 months. She has a daughter. He has a son. So they living together. They've been together for like two years or something like that. And she just stopped fucking him. She just doesn't want to have sex. She's tired. They work. He works. She works. She's tired, so she just doesn't want to have sex. It's not that his sex ain't good. She just doesn't want to, and she thinks that he's being unreasonable, saying that you sold me a dream. I said, well, you did sell him a dream. You was fucking him
Yeah.
like crazy when you was first dating. And then you got the ring, you moved in together, y'all got the house, and now a year later you done switched it up. I'm not saying you gotta fuck the man every day, but you fucking that man twice a month. That is crazy.
Twice a month.
Twice a month. It's crazy. And it's like,
So
what's the
so
point? What's the point? Like,
but
you want your
yeah.
man, you want to send your man out here in these streets, in the city of Atlanta, where the women outweigh the men. What is it, 2 to 1, 3 to 1 now?
It's 3 to 1. It's 3 to 1.
Wow, yeah.
And he is a manager at a call center.
Oh, a call
The
center
number
is
one
just
top
like,
job for men and
I
women is
mean,
call center.
I mean,
All
it's
three
so
of us
many,
have worked in a call center. Y'all know how it is,
it's so
right?
many
Yes.
indiscretions that's going on right now as we speak at a call center.
And
It's
you want to
horrible.
send him out there with no ass at a call center?
I mean, a call
So,
center.
You inviting
so
him to step out. Like, I'm not saying that you have to have sex with him all the time, but it's like men and women do shit like this where you were
yes,
this way when you got him, and as soon as you got what you wanted, it was like you switched it up. Men tend to do it when they want to get some new pussy, and women tend to
yeah,
do it after they get that ring. And it's like,
yes.
why you think your marriage is in trouble?
I think people have to understand and see. I feel like sometimes in relationships, I will speak for women as a woman because I get to have these conversations with women, and I've had these conversations with a couple of married women. Um, F around and find out, right? Because we're dealing with a whole new breed of women who they want your husband more because he's a husband. Okay. Second of all, I think married women, some of them, and I'm just speaking as a single woman because this is what I experience, have an air about them. Once the ones who are ring driven and title driven, I'm just speaking to those. They have an air about them, whereas they get very cocky and they get very comfortable, like their husband ain't ever finna look at another woman. You see what I'm saying? So I can understand a woman being tired. I can understand her saying, listen, I'm overworked or whatever. But that's when y'all got to come together and have a conversation and say, okay, how can we address this issue? I got a friend who's married. She has a meal delivery service now, and she also has they have housekeeping like twice a month. So when they have this frees her up and her husband up. They don't have to do it. So now they have more family time. They have more time together. They don't have to stress about who's gonna go to the grocery store and buy all this food and who's gonna do this. You got to do something about it. You just don't get to keep saying I'm tired and you don't want to do it. So if whatever it is, emotional, disconnective, connection, or whatever, you need to fix it instead of just dragging on because somebody else is waiting to help him out. Okay.
Fuck your man. They willing to fuck your man, bro. There's women
Yeah.
that are literally like, oh, my boyfriend is married. What? My boyfriend is married and I see him every weekend. And they're content with that
I
shit. They content with
I
a third of a man, bro. Just a third of a
I
relationship. And that's
I
it.
have ran into women who the first time I heard a chick say that, it blew my mind, right? I was with my homegirl and we was at IKEA on some random humbug. She runs into this girl she used to know. And this girl literally was in a triangle situation where she said, my boyfriend is married and his wife knows about it. And I have my days and she has hers.
That dick must be gold, shorty. Cause listen, dang that meat, dog.
That is King
And mind
Dingaling
you,
right there. God damn.
and let's be clear. She was probably in her early 30s. This guy is every bit in his 50s.
Yeah, see, and she in her sexual peak, nigga. That's crazy, dog. That nigga out there. What's that nigga name? I need to learn from him.
He also probably spending them ends too. So
That's probably true too.
That part.
I'm a broke nigga, so don't worry about it, women. If you hooking up with me, I ain't paying for shit. You feel me? I can't pay for a motherfucking thing. Don't come to Devo with that shit, though. I am not that.
I believe there was this great Negro poet went by the name of a rapper named Mac 10 who said, and I quote, "Look, girl, stop acting like you got to have the Hilton. It's a bed in a building." That's what he said.
Because you finna get this goddamn Ramada in. You finna get this red roof in. You get that. That's what you gonna get. You not getting no expensive place.
But
oh my god!
I don't know, dude. I just whenever I hear that term in relationships and I hear about submission, I feel like people always get the definition of what submission really is. It doesn't mean that when the dude come through the door, you need to have his pipe and slippers and shit. So it goes both ways. Debo was spot on with that, because if my wife comes to me and she's talking to me and she's adamant about something, I don't just have to overrule her. I'm the man that if she feels strongly about something, it's on me in this relationship to listen to what she's saying and take that into consideration and to, in some cases, follow what she's talking about if she feels strongly about it. It's nothing not masculine about following the person that you love when they feel strongly about something. I feel like society has that twisted where it's like, it's all about the man, it's what he says. And sometimes they got okay. Debo, I'm sure you co-sign. It's a lot of dumb ass niggas out here who don't need to be followed by anybody at any point in time.
Oh no, absolutely. Absolutely.
Especially in relationship.
If there's a man who's constantly obsessed with this issue, relationship after relationship or interaction with woman after interaction with woman, I implore you to look at how you deal with women. One, submission goes both ways. Two, if you're constantly getting pulled back, that means it's something about you that person doesn't trust you fully to follow what you're saying. So that's what it really is. I think that people who are insecure, especially dudes that talk about this, who are insecure and having this issue, um, they never really learned about relationships, and they pretty much learned it from the wrong people and mostly on the internet. So there, a lot of these people, when they talk about relationships, it's not from genuine experience of what they learned naturally. It's always they got it from somewhere else and they just totally take it out of context and they start misusing it all the time. That's why it doesn't make any sense. So it's not a, I mean, submission is not like a conscious thing. Like if you submit to your partner in that moment, it's an emotional connection that allows you to do it. You're not really thinking about it. You just do it because you trust them. And so you're going to follow their judgment in this moment, whether it's your wife or husband, either way in that moment, you're like, okay, I know my partner has my best interest at heart. I actually think what they're saying sounds good. So I'm a follow. I agree. You know what I mean? It's not a thought, it's an emotion. It just happens naturally.
I think a lot of problems come from people, especially these people on the internet, taking advice from the wrong people.
Yes.
I know for a fact that women, like if you go on Twitter, you will see whole posts of like thousands and upon thousands of comments just dragging niggas, right? You will see Instagram posts, you will see TikToks just dragging niggas, and then you'll see posts of men just dogging out a woman, saying they ain't paying for shit. I'm not, you looking for a daddy. Women saying you looking for a mama. Really, what is the problem is I think everybody's taking advice from their own sex, and you shouldn't. I think I mean, you can learn some things from a woman. A woman can learn some things from a married woman, and I understand that. But if you want to know about dating, you should talk to a man. Like some of the best advice I've ever given is to my female friends because I'm not gonna shit them. I'm gonna let them know. Oh, that nigga just want to fuck. Oh, that nigga want to do this.
Thank you.
Women, your male friend or your male best friend or your bestie, whatever you want to call it, he not gonna steer you wrong when you ask him for help. And it's likewise with women.
What?
Men, if you ask a female, they're gonna tell you what this woman is doing. Oh, she's just trying to get a free meal out of you. Oh, she don't really like you. Or she,
Yes.
I think we listen too much to our own sex too much.
But you know why?
We miss the actual real information.
But you know why? You want to know why?
Yeah, I mean, I'm intrigued.
Like all of us have the luxury of understanding how to have respectful friendships with the opposite sex, right? We're rare, right? So some of my best friends are men. And me and 16 have been friends for years, like with full total respect, right? Wow. Majority of people out here are incapable of having respectful, boundary driven relationships with the opposite sex. They always F it up and they ruin it because they have no discipline. So then they get in relationships and then you've got their partners telling them, I don't want you having female friends. I don't want you having male friends. So the only thing they can do and the only thing that adults get conditioned to do is to associate with the same sex. So now you're cut off from having an unbiased opinion on what you're going through. There's times I'll hit my homeboy and say, hey, what you think about this? And he'll say, okay, yeah, you have a good point. How you gonna present it? And then I'll tell him kind of like what I'm thinking. And he'll say, you know what? I agree with everything you're saying. He said, but because of how men think, you should insert this word instead of that word. That'll make it way more receptive, because if you use this word, then he's going to be defensive. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, that's really important to learn. But like, when you've got a bunch of cackling women only talking to other cackling women who don't have any real, remember I said in the beginning, like, men don't understand women and women don't understand men. If you're dealing with a bunch of people who don't understand the opposite sex, like, you're constantly going to hit the wall.
I also think that niggas and women, for that matter,
Yes.
are trifling. Like, they're just, for lack of a better word, they're trifling.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
niggas will, and I'm not even gonna say niggas. I am a nigga, and I've done this in the past where I have been in a friendship with a woman that I'm completely attracted to, and I'm completely waiting on my chance to get that pussy. And as soon as she slips, I'm gonna jump in. I'm that creep ass nigga. My
He
baby
putting it all
mama
out there.
is one of those women. You know what I'm saying? I was friends with her for years, and the minute she slipped up, I hopped on that pussy, dog, and I gave her a baby because that's mine. Anyways,
That's Devo. He's a gem, ladies and gentlemen.
listen, these are
Oh my
facts.
God.
But to my true female friends, then they know who they are. When I talk to you like you a nigga, that means I'm
Yes.
truly your friend. And I think
Yes.
that's where men and women fuck up, because women do the same shit. Like, I know women right
Yes.
now that's scheming
Yes.
on a male bestie that don't
Oh
look
my
at them like
God.
that, and they just
Absolutely.
waiting to give them that pussy, and like, they give them bad like advice in the hopes that they could jump on. And that's the
Yes.
problem. I feel like if we
Yeah.
knew this telltale signs of what's true friendship versus what's not, then we could obviously all be in a better place. But because you got these
Yeah.
snake in the grass, i.e. me,
He just really out here admitting that shit. He's like,
wait, I
i.e.
don't give a
me.
fuck. Fuck these people. What are they gonna say to me? Y'all gonna come for
This
me? No, that's
this
Debo.
is
I'm gonna
this
do
is
what
this
you know
is
what I'm saying.
exactly why we have him on the show, because he's gonna be this
Yes.
interesting.
I'm gonna be real and honest with you. Niggas is gonna nigga. And I told
Yes.
listen, every woman in my family, my sister, my cousin, every single one of them, they know. I had the whole conversation with them. Listen, a nigga gonna do this when he really want to be about you. If a nigga ain't about you, then don't fuck with him. And I tell all my female friends that shit too. And you know when a man is truly your friend versus when a man isn't, and vice versa, man.
Yes.
You know when a woman is truly down for you and when a woman ain't. And like,
Mm-hmm.
y'all confuse the two so often
Yes.
because you want to be confused. If you truly
Yes.
looking and got your eyes wide open, you can tell the difference. You can tell, oh, she just
Mm-hmm.
trying to get some dick. I can get that when I want. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And same thing for women.
No, but Devo was right with that, because she and I both have been in like crisis situations when it comes to needing a unbiased opinion, where it's like, yo, I know where I can get this from. I know I can talk to Diva about it. And she knows she can talk to me. I mean, full transparency, we both had situations where we call the other one. It's like, look, I know you finna give it to me 100%, and had the ability to call each other out when they were wrong. But also, it's one of these things where you can speak about that and you don't have to worry about me trying to be, prey on your emotions. Like, oh, you feeling bad? That nigga ain't doing you right? Well, shit, what's up then?
Come on,
Like,
let's talk, man. I got a
yeah,
bottle
let's
of
talk about it.
wine. I just picked up
Yeah.
a bottle of wine.
But
I know you like wine. Come on over. We can talk about it. We can watch a movie, order some pizza,
but
and
you
just
know
kick it.
what?
Nigga, I
Yeah.
ain't
This is
kicking it.
this
You
this
said
is
the
how
movie.
you know. Like, to me, in my experience, this is how you know that person is like your friend for real. One, when you upset, that person usually will help you calm down, but also redirect you to talk to your partner. Two, I may side with you because you're my friend as far as my empathy, but I'm still not going to. I may talk about your partner's actions, but I'm not going to criticize or insult them as a person. And so a lot of times we could have a conversation, but I'm never going to be disrespectful of your partner and be like, oh, yeah, I knew that when, I'm never going to pop off like that and be disrespectful, because I understand, like, you love that person, you have feelings for them. This may pass, and like, I'm also not going to try to sabotage it either. If you realize that your quote unquote friend is like quick to sabotage it, always quick to tell you to leave that person, always quick to do all that stuff, they definitely plotting on you.
I
You
think
know,
that's a thin line though, because sometimes a friend might see that this person is truly bad for you,
of
because
course,
love blinds us, right? And I've been in.
yes.
I give you a perfect example. Um, I was working for this company, Comcast, right? I was working for Comcast, and I was
Mhm.
dating this chick who was a clear alcoholic. She was a clear
Damn.
alcoholic. Okay, I Deanna Purdy, nigga, you were a clear alcoholic. Yeah, I called you out, ho. Okay. You was an alcoholic and a
The
felon
views
because you was.
expressed.
Let me tell you, yeah, I don't give a shit. This nigga had done some drunk driving shit, and her daddy just so happened to be a big wig in the county that she lived in, and he actually ended up giving her parole. They did this new work release shit for her, where she was going to jail on the weekends, where she had to be in jail for like 4 months. On Saturday and Sunday, they would let her out on Sunday evening. I was dropping this hoe off at jail, bro. This bitch was toxic. She was trash. And I had a female friend at the time, and my boss too. They were telling me, man, you gotta let this hoe go. She is not right for you. And I was not listening to these two women, bro. I wasn't. I wasn't. Long story short, I went to go and pick the hoe up from jail. She wasn't there. I kept calling. Come to find out, some other nigga that she had picked up, and she was off in a hotel fucking him because this nigga bought her a fifth of gin. You alcoholic bitch.
Damn. Damn, Diva. I don't know
Ooh.
what's crazy about
You
that
cheated
story.
on me for a fifth of fucking gin, bitch.
I'm trying to figure out like how much of that I have to cut.
No, you can cut none of that shit. You can leave it all in because I don't give a fuck. No, leave it in.
Listen, bleep the name. That's it.
You can,
Mhm.
if you want to, that's more work for you. I don't care. I wouldn't have said the name if I didn't care. But let me just tell you this.
Nah.
She cheated on me for a fifth of gin. And you know what I did? I called a probation officer and made them do a test on her. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You went back to jail because of me.
Oh
Because
shit.
I'm petty. You did. Petty. You feel me?
Oh, that was
Oh my god.
excellent.
Listening to the radio show.
I don't have road rage. I just don't like when people get in the left lane and do the speed limit. Nigga, if you gonna get in this lane, you gotta accept the risk that you could potentially get a ticket. That's what this lane is for.
You're listening to the radio show ATL on YouTube and all other podcast providers.
We're a little short this week, but that's okay. No easy, no one got to go this week. And we don't have any inventive game like what Christian had where he had the which album on the island. We ain't got none of that. So we're going to go to the tried and true random. It's this is the segment where you could take the show where you want to go. You could be ATL Diva for a segment and do whatever it is you want to do, however you want to do it. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about. That's what random is about. ATL Diva, since this is what you do all the time, what do you randomly have on your mind this week?
It's too hot and humid in Atlanta. Like, well, you know what? Hold up. Okay, maybe you know what? I just tapped into like a channel of my rant. Listen, I'm calling all of y'all to come get y'all Negroes that don't know how to drive and acting a fool. Please, somebody come. Like, okay, every time on my Instagram, there is a high speed car chase. Y'all cannot outdo Georgia State Patrol. GSP is about that life. They are crazy as y'all. Please have some patience, drivers. Y'all want to do 100 miles everywhere. It's not conducive to do 100 miles everywhere. Y'all aren't even good at it. Y'all keep having accidents and flipping cars. Like, I'm just saying, I can't stand none of y'all. And I want y'all all to go home. We need to implement deportation for Americans in Atlanta. Deport their ass back to wherever state the hell they came from. That's why I get the hell out my city.
Been saying that
Deport
for a
their
long
ass
time. Yes.
out of Atlanta. I think when you start doing some stuff, you need to get deported out of Atlanta, back to Miami, back to New York, back to California, back to Chicago, back to Memphis, all y'all trash
Louisiana.
cities.
Take their
Take
ass
them
back
back.
to Louisiana. Yes.
Whoa.
If you acting up, you can go. You can leave. We do not want your trash ass behavior in Atlanta. Y'all need to watch our kids and where they damn daddies at. They out here stealing and robbing and acting a motherfucking fool. Deport they ass out of here.
Damn,
Yes.
she said deport.
Deport.
Scorching the earth. I figured she
Deport.
would. Now, you know something? Diva, there you go with your random. Debo, we're going to save you and whatever insanity you might have for last. Good,
because I got a couple on them for your boy. I got a couple.
I'm going to hop in here real fast. And I am advocating, it's a lot of things that happen in the world that people just accept. But there's one thing that I'm not accepting of that needs to stop right now. All right, so everybody knows that corporate America is trash. It's killing people left and right, young and old, with all their stressors and all that nonsense. I'm advocating right now as we sit here to end that. If we in a meeting or we somewhere, please can we end that? All right, let's go around the room and everybody tell your name. And fuck all that.
Oh, my God.
Let's get to it. Don't nobody want to be in this meeting. Let's get to it. I'm advocating the end of, all right, guys, so let's go around the room where you tell everybody your name and your department and how long you've been here and one little fun fact about you. I don't want to do that shit. I don't want to be
truths and a lie.
Yeah, let's get to it right now.
Oh my God!
Stop asking me about my weekend. I'm not trying to bond with you, bro.
Can we not just put our name, how long we've been there, and a fun fact on a placard card and keep it moving and everybody can take their time reading it?
All of it is insignificant to the meeting. Y'all want to come in here and talk about this process that you implement in the system. Why do you need to know my name and what department I'm in? Stand your ass up on that board up there, click the little clicky thing, get to it so we can go back to hating our lives at our desk instead of asking.
Get to clicking.
Yes, get to clicking. So
let's go. Let's get this over with. Let's wrap it up. Let's stop asking me how many questions do we might got questions. If everybody quiet for 5 minutes, nobody got questions.
No, we've been waiting. We never wanted to come to this meeting in the first place, so we're not about to prolong it with questions. We hate y'all. So please, I'm begging you, if you're somebody that's watching this who's the head of a meeting, stop with the fucking icebreakers because we don't give a shit.
If you made an HR, if you're a director or a manager level above, I don't give a fuck about what you did on your rich weekend. Oh, I went to Chattanooga. I don't give a fuck. I can't afford to go to Chattanooga right now, bitch.
Nope.
So what?
I was able to scrape up enough money to get this Chinese food that I had this weekend that I'm eating for lunch today because all my money's gone.
I literally bought Papa John's, bitch. What you talking about?
I bet you won't get that wrap it up button from the Dave Chappelle show. You should stick it like right there, and you should just take it to your meeting and put it on the desk.
It always start with this, but like, let's go around the room. They'll be like, I'll start. I'm Jenny. I work in HR, and I just really love it here. Like, Jenny, we don't give a shit. All right, get to it. That's the word of the week.
Look. I bet you do when you don't have metrics on you. With you've been in rap for 3 minutes. Like, was there anything wrong?
So
no,
please
let me go.
And let's go around the room, okay? I'm begging.
Absolutely, I can co-sign that. And you know what? I'm gonna keep it with in the corporate world, the job world, okay? Indeed, y'all motherfuckers got to do better, bitch. Because I'm in the process of trying to find a new gig because I'm tired of my company, right? I'm trying to find a new job, and half the jobs on Indeed are fake as fuck, though.
Yes,
fake as
shit. Indeed used to be. It's the new Craigslist for jobs, though.
But it used to be.
It used to be a credible place to look for a job. And now that shit is Indian, and I'm gonna just be honest, Indian scammers calling you names, Thomas, on their name Charlie. Your name ain't Charlie. Your name ain't Charlie Suresh. I know it ain't.
That brings me to a weird random now that you said that.
See? Because that shit is trash, dog.
Listen,
this nigga tried to tell me that he was going this nigga tried to tell me that his job making $50 an hour doing what I do. And I looked the company up and that shit was on a GeoSites website. I said, what the fuck? Come on,
I had this dude call me yesterday and I answered the phone because I'm sometimes I be in the mood and I'll be like, y'all can get it today. So I answered the phone. He told me he's from Allstate and something about car insurance, and he was like, well, I was like, I'm not interested. Like, I'm insured. Like, I don't need anything. Thank you. Have a nice day. Wait. Why don't you just listen to me? And I'm like, who are you yelling at? Click. Like, How you call somebody else's phone about something they didn't ask you for, and then you got the audacity to yell at them because they don't want to listen to your little presentation? Oh my goodness!
Just wild and crazy behavior.
Deport him too.
Yeah. I'm about sick of them too. And my second one, just I'm gonna wrap it up real quick. Like men and women.
Yes.
No. I'm gonna say that one for next week because we kind of already discussed this. This is my newest one. Mark, what's his name? Zuckerberg, the nigga who over Facebook. What's his name?
Yeah.
Zuckerberg.
Yeah, right. Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Fuck you, dog. Okay, fuck you and fuck Threads. Okay, that fake ass Twitter with fucking community guidelines. How Twitter got community guidelines? I don't want it. Nobody want it. Nobody asked you for it. You see what I'm saying? And niggas is on there and they like, oh, let me get a thread going. It's whack as fuck. You can't even say I want my dick sucked on fucking Threads.
Wait,
You can't
I'm
talk about
confused.
fellatio on
What
Threads.
is
Do you not know what Threads
that's
is?
on Twitter?
No.
Devo, did you learn that through experience?
Yes. Oh, come on. You didn't know? First day? Oh, ask Jimmy. First day on Threads. I said something crazy, and them niggas had already gave me a warning. It's like they knew I was gonna be wild.
Damn, Threads ain't even 3 weeks old. I think it ain't even 3 weeks old. And they already got a warning.
Child week, nigga. That shit just launched last week, nigga.
What's the point? What's the point of Threads?
So Threads is something you can use through your Instagram account, which is basically a Twitter. Like it's a great value Twitter.
Not a great value Twitter. You know what? You said
it's great value Twitter.
It's not even worth my Google.
It's not. I mean, you could get if you got an Instagram account, you'll be able to get Threads because that's what they use. But it's just like Twitter, but like all whitewashed Twitter. Everything is hunky dory. There's no negativity on there. Oh, this post looks negative, and I don't think people would like that. First off, bitch, this is Twitter. You supposed to be Twitter. Then let me tweet. Let me do Twitter shit. You know what I'm saying? I want to scroll down and see a booty hole getting lit on Twitter. That's why Twitter is there. You see what I'm saying? I want to scroll and see a real crazy fight where this bitch is slamming this nigga head in the ground. That's the type of shit I want to see on Twitter. Facebook is supposed to be for your families and that goody two-shoe shit. Twitter's supposed to be raunchy. I don't need clean Twitter. I don't need PG-13 Twitter. I don't need great value Twitter is what I'm saying. I want the good old-fashioned Twitter. So stop fucking with Twitter, Mark Zuckerberg. We don't need it. You got Instagram. You done bought everything else in the world. Stop being so fucking greedy, bitch. And stop warning me, nigga. I didn't even do shit that bad on motherfucking on Threads yet. These niggas done gave me a warning, and I had only had the account for like 12 minutes, nigga. That's just wow.
Your reputation precedes you. But
yeah, well, fuck all that.
Per usual, this random segment does not disappoint. ATL Diva, Big Devo coming through with large rants as well as I did. And also one last side note to bottom line this segment. People who put read receipts on work in corporate America, fuck you. Maybe I read it. Maybe I did.
You are now listening to The Radio Show.
I'm going to go on a limb here and say I don't hate the remake of Karate Kid. It's not that bad.
It's not that good either.
You're listening to The Radio Show ATL on YouTube and all other podcast providers.
Well, guys, we have come to the end of this segment in this show. We had a great time. I am so happy we had Big Devo, who is probably finessing himself to be another castmate, but you know, in due time, take your time.
He can't afford me, dog. He lets me doing this for free.
hey,
but I'm expensive.
But he keeps coming back for more. That's all.
It's because you, Diva. I gotta come through for my friends. That nigga is trash. Fuck him. Fuck that light skinned ass nigga.
I appreciate you coming. We have talked about relationships tonight. We have talked about deporting people back to their home state because we don't like them. We have talked about F corporate America, and you stuck around for all of it, which means you like us a lot. So if you want to like us some more, you can follow us on. Yeah, well, this is where 16 comes in. He's gonna tell you where we go.
Oh, Diva, you are a national treasure that can't remember any information for your own show. Somebody please put this woman in a museum and put her in the glass case. She is a national treasure. All right. So the first thing that we're going to do before we get to our information is talk about our guest co-host, Big Debo, My Black Friend podcast out there. 300 episodes out there, radiocircus.net. Debo, big things going on for you guys, man. Like I said, a 6-part, 300 episode. Can't bring that up enough. People need to be listening to y'all, man. Tell them where else they can find you, please, so they can listen.
I mean, you can find me on Threads probably if I ain't banned, maybe. You can find me on all the things at Big Debo ATL, except for Twitter. It's at _ Big Debo ATL. You know, obviously, I'm even helping these niggas interview now. You know what I'm saying? Asking all the tough questions. You know what I'm saying? That 16 can't do because I'm a real journalist in this bitch.
Well, 16, you know, make sure you bring plenty of tissue so you can wipe up after they finish talking all day shit.
Whatever. So check out My Black Friend, radiocircus.net or wherever you listen to podcasts. Now, speaking of the radio show ATL, as Diva was mentioning before, if you want to be a guest on the radio show ATL, just send us an email to radioshowinbox@gmail.com, or you can send us a text 678-800-1677. We look forward to hearing from you. The info is right on the screen right there. And I also wanted to point out, because we're getting more of an influx in that number isn't just for guests. We play music on the audio version of the podcast from artists all over the world. We get submissions. When I say all over the world, I mean all over the world. From Vietnam to Austria to Germany, we've gotten music submissions. So if you're an up-and-coming artist, yes, we're a hip-hop show. We play hip-hop and R&B, but we don't discriminate. We play alternative music, rock, all that stuff. So if you're an artist, hit us up. There's the information on the screen. Like I said, send us a text, an email. You know, we look forward to hearing from you. All right. So again, much love to Debo for, coming through, hanging out with us. Debo, it's always good to see you most days. And, we hope to have, the rest of the crew back with us when we're recording again. But yeah, man, we just love the conversation. I'm just saying we just love the conversation. And, we just going to keep doing this all 2023 and beyond. All right. And I got to do this for my man, Jimmy, because he's not here. Because remember, every like and subscribe gets us another like and subscribe. So like and subscribe. All right. So anybody, Diva, you want to try my catchphrase? You want to try?
Hold on. I got it because I've been practicing. You ready?
All right.
Let me get my N16 voice. You ready?
All right. Here
so
we
please
go.
remember and never forget. Hey, that's my shit. Hold on. Please remember and never forget. You're not listening to a radio show or some radio show. You listen to the radio show, ATL. Hey, nigga, that was cool. That's better than you, bro.
He got it down.
Very good.
Been on it too long. He got it down now.
I love it. And guess what? I didn't have to do it.
There you have it. So thank y'all for listening, watching, supporting, all that good shit. We will catch y'all next time.